Hello and welcome YouTube, this is CookieMonster of ProForgeRacing bringing you 4 amazing Halo 4 racetracks, all of which were made by myself, CookieMonster. And these are my 4 newest terrain tracks. Actually, I've made 7 terrain tracks recently, all kind of like in different orders, but 3 of them were on the Crimson map pack, so I took those ones out and I put them in a separate video. But these are 4 of my 7 newest terrain tracks. And these are the 4 that aren't on the Crimson map pack. This one is very old. It was made like in December, like mid-December, and I think I'd finished with the track like a few weeks before that, so probably like late November. And I hadn't done the kill barriers or the scenery yet, so I hadn't put on YouTube. It has been in a few of my videos for the DRL, but that's it. The scenery on this track, I looked up Google images and I found a satellite and I copied that satellite, and I also made a spaceship. Yeah, I made a spaceship blasting off like it would do from Earth to space, as opposed to space to Earth, but you get the drift. It has space aesthetics, and there's a few aliens on the map. I got the idea from Ordo Malleus. He had a Christmas track where you drove through a house, and there was these aliens using the vehicle pads for the whatever they're called, for that vehicle that looks like an alien. But this is a very fun racetrack. Again, it's called LunarCross. It is an off-roading racetrack. It's not a terrain. It's not an enduro cross or any kind of cross. I just called it LunarCross because it sounded cool. Lunar having to do with the moon, cross because it's like a crazy off-road map. It's supposed to feel like you're literally driving on a freaking mountain or like on a crater. So it's a pretty fun track, very good for the DRL, one of the most used and most popular DRL tracks. This one's called Relentless December. It's my second track on Longbow. Again, Relentless December. I made this one in December. I made LunarCross before this. That just goes to show how far behind I am. This is a very fun track. It has a split section and a shortcut. Well, it's got a couple shortcuts, kind of, but you'll see that in this video. I think I do 2 laps on this one, even though it's a really long map, so I apologize for 2 laps. I know it's very long. However, I did 2 laps because I wanted to show you 1 lap taken normally and 1 with all the different shortcuts. I could have cut the clips and just shown the shortcuts on the second lap. However, I forgot to do that until right now, and I don't feel like restarting this audio or editing it. So we will do 2 laps, and you guys can stick with me for an extra minute and a half, because that's about how long this one is. Actually, I think the lap time on this is only like 66 seconds, Whiskey Worm calculated. So it's only an extra minute and 6 seconds. You have to stick with me, so shut up and listen. Nah, I'm just kidding. You know I'm kidding, girl. Shit, man, come on. Just sit down, grab some iced tea, some Kool-Aid, whatever you want, girl. You gonna stay for a while. But anyways, this is a really fun terrain track. It is definitely better than my other one, which is actually my second most downloaded track. Snowy Trails is 5.3 thousand downloads. It's just basically like a circle with a extra part on it, but it was a really good track, especially for the time it was made. But this one shits on it, so I hope this one gets more than 5.3 thousand downloads. Right here is the split section. I took the right way. Everybody always takes the left way in tournaments. I guess it's just the more obvious way, but they're pretty equal. I added a gravity volume on the left side to make up for the downhill on the right. Right here's a little shortcut. I loved that part, so I had to add that in, but I also loved the normal route, so I had to add that in. Right there you can kind of go on the left of the tree, which isn't really a shortcut, but if you take it right and bounce off the base shield wall there, you can actually save some time. So it is definitely somewhat of a shortcut. I think I used a red, gold, and blue color scheme for this one. Maybe just red and blue. Yeah, I used red and blue for the color scheme, and all the gold base shields are just to block off different parts like buildings or outdoor cave areas, stuff like that. But the final little shortcut type thing right here is kind of a risk or reward shortcut. You cut through those rocks. Right there I got risk, although I did a perfect barrel roll. It can either save you like half a second to win a tournament, you know, just like that, to get right ahead of someone right before the finish line, or it can flip you and you could lose the whole race right before the finish line. This one is called Whisper. It's my second complex track. Nuked Ice Cream and I have the most downloaded custom complex forged map ever, and that is Up on the Rooftops, our racetrack, with almost 4.8 thousand downloads, which is awesome. So I thank you to everyone who downloaded it. Actually, if you go to all the non-forged maps that I make racetracks on, and you look at the most downloaded maps, you know, you instead of all time, you go to you go to most downloaded all time, and you go to each specific map as opposed to all maps. You'll see a bunch of MLG maps for all of them, and in the top like 5 on almost every single non-forge map, one of my tracks will be there, which is really cool. So I thank everybody who's downloaded them. But this one is a really cool track. It featured a little part back there with some pallets where you can push people over the edge. There's a fun part near the beginning where you do a triple bounce. Sorry, I was talking your heads off, so I couldn't tell you about it then. But there's a triple like bounce section, and if you fail it, you can cut through the building underneath where the jump lands from on top of the building. You cut through underneath there, so it's pretty cool. Right there, I use man cannons as a boarding piece at the end. If you touch those man cannons, they smack you down because they want to suck down, because that's what man cannons do, but they can't suck down because they're in the ground. But that's a really fun track, really, really good for the DRL. This one is called Tree Hugger. It is my newest terrain racetrack as of while I'm recording this audio. 1 a.m. on April 21st. But it's a really, really fun track. It's way better than Winding River in my opinion, although the newer version of Winding River is pretty kick-ass. The older version needed some work, which is why the newer version exists. But this one features some really cool things that you haven't seen on any other tracks, and at least any of the Ragnarok tracks. I can't imagine they're on any other tracks though, because they're kind of Ragnarok specific. Right here is a pretty big jump, and then there's this jump right here. A lot of people take it like that, like I just did. That's how you take it in tournaments. You kind of cut it. It was initially designed, I was going to make it so you have to go way up that rock, because it works perfectly like 90% of the time. If you go way up that rock and you jump, the rock itself will work as like a lip to the jump, and you land it perfectly. And then right here is a tunnel, and it's a really fast-paced like straightaway through that tunnel coming out here. So I love that. The initial video I had for this, coming out of the tunnel, I did a barrel roll and landed it perfectly accidentally, and I was going to use that, but friggin' Sony Vegas wouldn't load the clip, so I had to re-record it. And then at the on the cliff there's kind of a shortcut. But please download all 4 of these maps. My old terrain tracks all had like 4,000 downloads each at least, and a lot of my new ones have like 80 downloads each. So going from 4,000 to 80, you know, it's pretty tough to do. So if you guys could please download these tracks, recommend them to friends, make reviews of them if you want, I would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me. I work really hard on my maps, so of course I want people to download them and have fun on them, and I just want people to enjoy them. Again, I'm doing 2 laps on this one, but this one's like 40 seconds. You can stay with me another 40 seconds. What the hell have you got to do? You're a gamer. You have no life anyways. But I totally have a life, which is why I'm sitting here talking to myself in a microphone about Halo. I'm so cool. But anyways, please download these maps. They're very fun. They're super good. I promise. And while you're in my file share, feel free to download all of my other maps. But thank you guys so much for watching. There'll be a ton more videos coming soon.